It's about that time. As Proper said, the end is upon us, at least the end of the regular season, folks. Welcome to the last CCL regular season for this year. Jesse and I will be taking you through the West today, which is a fun time, Jesse, because you and I haven't gotten a chance to look at the West. How are you feeling today, bud?
I'm feeling good. I mean, except for the fact you just called me Proper, but it's fine. It's okay. You want a different color caster on the broadcast with you? It's all good. He's a fantastic one nonetheless. But no, I mean, it's looking really good. Though the West, I mean, like you said, we haven't really gotten a chance, the two of us together, to really take a deep look into the Western Conference yet. So I think that's gonna be a really good time here today.
No, and unfortunately, we're a little bit late, but, better late than never. I always like to say, fashionably late, Jesse, to the broadcast today. Only 2 matches for tonight. We get double dose of Longhorn Gaming, as we're going to be seeing them in both of our matches tonight. But first, they go up against the New Mexico State Aggies. Later on, they're going to go up against Texas A&M Maroon. So a little bit of a mix-up for Longhorn Gaming tonight. 5-3, not too bad of a score line, but for them, being showcased on Stream twice, I guess they get to, gain some confidence going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a chance to come in at 5-3 and walk out of here at 8-3 or at 7-3, right? Possibly tonight if they come out and they win both of these matches. Now that first matchup against New Mexico State University probably going to be a little bit more difficult of a matchup than their matchup against Texas A&M, who is on a bit of a losing streak right now. But still, nonetheless, I think we're going to be in for 2 really good matchups because one, this first matchup is going to be 2 heavy hitters, but then that second matchup of the day, that's a big rivalry matchup between 2 big Texas schools.
I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to get into it. But before we do dive into this, Jesse, let's take a look at the top 25 for this week because, last week, the regular season, so we really get to see, how teams are faring going into this playoff role. A lot of teams have moved up from what I've seen that I wasn't expecting. In particular, you're looking at, big resurgence from Michigan Esports moving up into that 10th spot. I was loving what I was seeing out of them last week.
Yeah, Michigan's getting a lot of love now. You can see our team that we're featuring twice on broadcast here tonight as well. Longhorn Gaming moving their way up now in the 21st spot as well. They're looking really, really good as of recently. So, I absolutely love to see it. The one thing I absolutely still love to see sitting right outside the top 5 are boys from Canada and St. Clair. We absolutely love to see them. Big shouts to them. They were supposed to be on stream in our first matchup here today. Fortunately, didn't have them on. But, I mean, big shouts to them this weekend, too. Won a big LAN tournament that they were at with against a lot of other college schools as well. And they're looking dangerous, man. I'm really, really excited to see what they can do going later on in the year.
I was going to say, they have been tested this year. We haven't, seen them go up against the likes of, University of North America or, Marseille Esports just yet. But I wonder, after that LAN, it's just a big question mark on, St. Clair Saints. How far can that team really push? How high is their skill ceiling? But, in other news, too, I mean, Ottawa Braves, unfortunately, we got the news that they're not going to be, continuing forward throughout this. So even though they're sitting in the number 19th spot, I imagine that somebody else will be moving into that
I would hope so.
Position moving forward. Yeah. So unfortunately, too, our 2021 CCL champions. So sad to see them go, but I'm excited, we get to hopefully get another new CCL champion as we move into the playoffs. Who knows what we're going to be brought, Jesse, going forward. But yeah, let's talk about the series that we have first and foremost. You're talking about New Mexico State Aggies going up against Longhorn Gaming. Give me a little bit of a, idea on what we're walking into, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, so we're walking into 2 teams that are really good. I mean, both teams are guaranteed top 8 now, so they'll get that first round bye in the playoffs. They've both looked really good so far here throughout the season for the most part, right? But, I mean, I think if you're Longhorn and you're coming into this one with the record at 5-3 going up against New Mexico State, who's at 8-2, and New Mexico is very much so kind of solidified themselves as the second best team inside of this division right now. If you can come in here as University of Texas and walk away with a victory against them, that's going to propel you with so much confidence going into the playoffs, going up against the second team here in your division. To walk away with a victory there, I mean, you're going to be looking fantastic going into the playoffs.
I'm sure it's vice versa. New Mexico State still looking to remain dominant throughout this. If they look good through the 2023 season, we got Phenom, Jolteon, Oze, and Electric heading this roster. And let me tell you something, Jesse. I'm excited to finally see this team, from a casting perspective because Phenom has been gross this year.
Yeah, he really has been. The sophomore coming in from New Mexico State University. Really, really talented player. We haven't gotten to see too much of him yet between me and you, but everything we've heard of is just that. All we've heard is Phenom is him. He's been very, very talented throughout a lot of this year. I mean, a very, very good flex player as well. And we all know, if you watch the CDL, if you watch any type of competitive Call of Duty, if you got a flex player that can absolutely dominate, That's when
Yeah.
your team is going to be at its best. I mean, you look at Celium, you look at players like Dashy when Dashy was running the flex. That is the role where if you got that player in it that's going to play dominating, I mean, it's going to be very, very tough to beat a team like that.
It's just when you can do it all, there's not much you need more than that when you are New Mexico State Aggies. But let's take a look at their opponents tonight, because this is a team that you and I, Jesse, we got actually really familiar with last year in the Vanguard season. We haven't, seen firsthand this new iteration of the roster, but as we look at Longhorn Gaming, we get Crit now here. Going into the Longhorn Gaming, moving from Illini into Longhorn, it's going to be interesting to see how this team fares up in the playoffs, but you and I both know that playoff Crit is going to be a big factor.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And I would like to see playoff Crit come out here today, and really put up a show against New Mexico State University. I think that this team is another really, really talented team that we see, and like you said, Crit, another very talented player, and also in that flex role. So we'll be looking out for the battle today between Crit and Phenom. I think that's going to be our main matchup here that we're going to have to be kind of keeping our eyes out for between these two teams, and that's going to be one that if one of them is really dominating the other, that could end up determining who walks away with the victory in a lot of these maps here today.
And I think, a name that's near and dear to our hearts that, still continuing this roster, Mickey,
Yep.
Another flex player for this roster, losing out on his Eminem duo. I think it was Menace last year that we had high stocks in, but now with Crit, on their wing, I'm really excited to see if this Longhorn Gaming roster can find a new skill ceiling pushing into the playoffs today, especially against a hot team like New Mexico State. But we are in for quite an interesting series between these two, because when it comes to the head-to-head, obviously you look at the numbers for both these teams, and you look at New Mexico State Aggies and how much of an advantage they will have going into this across the hardpoint, the search and destroy, and the control records. But the thing is, Jesse, when you look at New Mexico State and Longhorn, and their only, real head-to-head that I was looking at, both of these teams haven't found success against that number one team, Oklahoma Christian University. Both of the teams, they got handled pretty well, and Longhorn Gaming, I feel like this is probably their best and biggest test so far.
Yeah, outside of that Oklahoma Christian match, I'd 100% say that, right? And the big thing, Colin, when I look at these two teams, I'm looking at their head-to-heads here. I mean, the hardpoint record, it kind of shows for itself, right? 9-3, 7-4, very, very similar. I expect to see two very close hardpoints between these two teams, but I know we haven't gotten a chance to look at the maps and modes yet, but I don't want to deteriorate Longhorn Gaming with the 4-4 record in Search and Destroy and the 4-4 record in Control, and just completely write them off in those two modes, even though New Mexico State is very, very good in those two modes, just because of the way that our map set is looking. I think that there's actually a really good chance here that we end up seeing all 5 maps here today.
Yeah, I mean, this is Longhorn Gaming Squad. They're scrappy, they're ready to tussle, and they're ready to upset. Let's take a look at these maps that we have for today, because you mentioned it. It is an interesting one, and one that I, myself, would have never guessed we would start off with a double dose of Mercado. We get a hotel control, and if necessary, a hydro in a hotel to finish things off. But it has been a while, Jesse, since I've seen back-to-back Mercados to open up a series.
Yeah, it feels like kind of since the start of the year, right? When everybody was just kind of playing double Mercado to start a lot of this series. And now, it's kind of coming back. It's full circle.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, too, in Call of Duty, where a lot of the maps that are played at the start of the year, towards the end of the year, are those two maps that really start to kind of find their way back into the same system once again here. But yeah, the reason I'm so excited about this map set, though, Colin, and I know I was kind of hinting on it, both these teams have played a whole hell of a lot of Mercado and Hotel throughout the year. It's both of their two biggest, or I guess most played maps throughout the year. Maybe not in each specific mode, but in just the map in general. Both teams have played these two maps, I should say, the most out of any of the maps. But the one map that I think actually there's a clear advantage on here, which is what I'm so excited about, is that Hydro Map 4. We've seen University of Texas 3-1 on that map. They played it a lot more than New Mexico State has played it, and New Mexico State in it 0-1 on that map mode combination. So that's really, really exciting to me. If we can get to that map 4, we're almost guaranteed to see a map 5, I feel, with how good University of Texas are on that map. Now, going to that map 5, that Search and Destroy on Hotel might not be the best for University of Texas, but it's one that, they'll definitely put their heart into.
I mean, it's not too bad. They're sitting 1-1 on Hotel Search and Destroy, but yeah, you're right. This is an interesting map set, an interesting series. Longhorns, they did their homework. and it is very apparent when it comes down to that map set. So going into this Mercado hardpoint, you look at the records, Jesse, you talked about it a little bit. New Mexico State 2-0 on this hardpoint map. This side, University of Texas 1-2. So not too bad if you're University of Texas looking to upset a map one. I think this is the best map you could have started off in your hardpoint pool for, if not that Hydro hardpoint. But you get to that hard point in map number 4, you're feeling good. When you're looking at the keys to victory, I'd say for Longhorn, it's finishing this one in 4.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And that's really the big thing is they need to come out, they need to dominate the hard points here today against a team like New Mexico State, who is really, really good in the search and destroy and inside of the control as well, because those aren't guaranteed kind of gimme modes here today for the likes of Longhorn Gaming. So like you said, they do need to be very, very good. And you know what? This is a good start, though. You get 2 big kills towards the bottom side of the map. Now you actually start to spawn up on that bottom side as well. And I mean, this first hill, we all know it's as much as you're looking for time on P1, you're really looking for those spawns for that P2 Cantina hill.
Longhorn Gaming doing a great job at these P2 setup right now until Aggies knocking on their doorstep. Saucy's going to have to go big, and he will spawn up for crit. So backed into this P2 Cantina setup. Longhorn Gaming, they're not getting the best time off of P1, but like you said, Money Hill Central is what Mercado is going to be. So Aggies now for the break down alley. They have the full pinch, and in fact, Longhorn in a 3 versus 4. So a couple of these Slayers gonna have to turn things around, and Mickey and Crit doing exactly that. Crit's gonna get some eyes on the rest of them, feeding the information on the inside, but Mickey's gonna lose his one, and Aggies, they break fast.
Yeah, and this tends to be the best way that we see a lot of teams break into this hill, as well as when you get 4 players to be able to flush their way down through back alley. That's when you can really have a good shot at it, because you really overwhelm that player up on the top. They absolutely do that, and they break their way into the hill, but not going down without a fight is Longhorn Gaming, who actually break themselves back in now. Saucy 5-3 on a 3 spree, a big reason for why they were able to break into that hill. And if they can actually keep the likes of Longhorn Gaming spawning out towards the likes of Parking, they could be in a really good chance to kind of pin these 2 hills together and just go 1-2.
Saucy and Mickey starting off hot right now in this Mercado hardpoint. It's good looks for Longhorn for the SMG duo. Aggie's going to have a little bit of a script flip going into this P3 tin hardpoint, but Jose already on the case for that rotation. Only 1 player here from University of Texas to really try to sniff this one out, and nobody knows. Nobody knows that Mickey's going to be here, and he has a chance to punish with Crit on the pinch. Longhorn Gaming, they kind of pull fast one here on Aggies.
Yeah, as good as that was of a break from Jose by themselves, they took the 1-on-2 inside a tin. They were able to win out both those gunfights. Mickey kind of just plays a little bit of a sneaky spot, hides them behind the trash can, and able to just sneak their way into the hill, pop a 2-piece of their own, and then along with the rest of the team making their break in, makes that break that much easier for Longhorn Gaming, and they're looking really good off the start of this game here, Colin.
Yeah, Longhorns, Mickey and Saucy especially, just the survivability there from Mickey. Saucy's going to get knifed on the inside, but he's got help. In the last 21 seconds, I mean, with how far away both teams are spawning, now battling for that P2 rotation. Longhorn in for the scrap time and in for potentially new as well. Phenom gonna have to stay alive in the back. This is gonna be a nice pressure from Mickey to clear out the backside of that hard point. And a 3 down to the feed is gonna leave Electric all alone. This is perfect hard point right now on Mercado.
Wow, I mean, they're doing a great job of just stringing every single one of these hills together, and Mickey again with a big 2-piece there. Every time Longhorn right now need a player to go massive, find a 2-piece to be able to break inside of a hill early on. They're finding it right now, and that's why you're seeing this score as large as it is. Now you're going to see the likes of Longhorn. They're going to try to push down back alley once again here, get a big long push, but so far not really finding too much success. Finally, Phenom will pop the 2-piece and be able to break the rest of the likes of New Mexico State into the hill here.
Great with attacks. Just going to lead the way for Mickey to find yet another break. Pieces together too. 111 to 35, and there's still 20 seconds left on this map. Look how far the Aggies are spawning to, and they don't even want to tango back over towards the barbershop. It's going to be, again, Saucy, a little bit on an island, not ready for Electric on the flank. So set up right now for New Mexico State. This is where they really need to sink their feet in, dig deep, and hold on tight, Jesse, for the rest of this hill, because not yet have Longhorns really set up on the rotation. Velocity is actually going to get shut down by Phenom, and Jolteon's in a good spot to watch this. This is a great setup right now.
This is something that you absolutely need as well if you're New Mexico State. The game was getting to a point where it could get really, really scary if you allowed any more time there. But this is going to be the first opportunity we see now for New Mexico State to actually have a full setup and try to go for a full hold here. And you can see working a lot better here so far, but the break still, Mickey, Saucy, and Velocities find 3 in the feed. They're able to break in from the front. Phenom needs to go massive.
I mean, the subs have just been too good. Aggies can't keep up. It's 24 seconds. Phenom's gonna have to fight for them, but it's just, again, it's not enough. It's gotta be down to this 1v1. Jose trying to stay alive. Mickey, 13-8. Wins out again on the scrap time, minimizing the amount of damage that New Mexico State can do on this comeback, Jesse.
And Colin, look at the rotation all the way across the map. Once again, we head back over to Cantina. This time it's going to be top Cantina, and it's Longhorn Gaming, who are the majority of players set up in and around this hill. Saucy's going to be the first player to get pushed. Electric will at least find that kill, but now Velocities needs to try to go massive here and shut these players down. He might not even need to, because you've got Crit cutting them off through middle of the map.
2 versus 2 for the time. Trophy's going to be there. Velocity stunned up. Jose struggling to crawl his way in. Velocity's not going to see him. Doesn't matter. Attack 56. The headshot multiplier. Oh, what a crazy thing. It goes both ways at this point. Grit now alone up top. 1v1. Jolteon goes down and they win it yet again on rotation. Longhorns on fire right now. Grit soaking up as much time as he can. Jose is going to get a look through the window. Mickey out front. It's a 2-for-1. Now trying to stay alive and see if you can shut down yet another ounce of scrap time here. He's going to take one shot. Jose shuts him down.
Really, really massive here from Longhorn Gaming. I mean, this game is almost at the point where if New Mexico State University doesn't answer back with a big hold of their own here soon, this is where Longhorn can absolutely put this game away here on parking. They can get up to right around 230 points if they hold on to all this time. Right now, nobody in the hill for either one of these two teams as we're getting north-south spawns, and both teams are now just going to be trying to fight and claw their way here into this hill, but it will be Longhorn Gaming as the first team into the hill.
Fantastic on the rotations, too. Phenom, 2 HP. Can he find yet another one? Get eyes on the Velocity. And scrapes away the kill to deny some time here. Jolteon's going to come to the rescue. Still on the cross. Player number 1, Saucy, watching and waiting for the rest to attack. But it's 3 clean kills from Longhorn off the respawn to deny some more time. And set up in P7. If they can put this out of contention for the rest of this hard point, 196 and counting. They're going to cross the 200-point marker, Jesse. And look, I love this play. I mean, this is exactly what you need to see in Mercado. The fast rotations out of the subs.
And you can already see Longhorn Gaming, they're not even really putting a lot of focus on that P1 hill because they don't need to. They've got so much of a time bank lead right now over the likes of the New Mexico State Aggies that it's just a very tough game now from this point on, because not only do New Mexico State not only need to hold on to a good chunk of time on every hill, but they also need to be rotating to every single hill early on to try to get those setups that they need. And at this point, I mean, they're in some trouble here if they can't hold on to a good chunk of time here. At least they get the bottom side spawns. That's a good first step.
Okay, Electric for 3. Leave Mickey in a position where really just looking for the rotation. Shut down Electric. All 4 players. He's on a 5 spree. Player number 6 gonna be there, but he's not able to clean it up in time. So still in the hunt right now is Electric, as he's gonna grab that cruise missile. Maybe trying to breathe some life back into the team, but he's under a lot of pressure. And the rest of Aggies just nowhere to be found. Crit's gonna finally shut down Electric. Player still collecting time here for Longhorn, so if you're Phenom, you have to go. They can't win it, Jesse, but going into P2, you have the numbers, and Mickey, a double kill. Electric, can you hold on? He's got Jose, and that might just be enough to keep this level head for now. I say it. Saucy's gonna find another one. Phenom goes down. We said, Jesse, it's not gonna be an easy game for Longhorn today, but they got a chance, and they make it look like a walk in the park here in map 1.
I was gonna say, I didn't think this was going to be an easy game for New Mexico State to win, but let alone an easy game for Longhorn Gaming to walk out and win. I mean, this was a domination of map number 1, 250 to 84. It felt like New Mexico State didn't even spawn in on the map for the first half of that game. They started to put on a little bit of fight as soon as the second set of rotations started there. But not often do you see Mercado end in only 8 hills. Usually it's a very back and forth map mode combination. Not this time through. That was a masterclass of hardpoint from Longhorn Gaming there.
Well, what did we just watch? What was that? That's not the Mercado I'm used to in Hardpoint. I mean, that was literally a masterclass from Longhorn Gaming, Jesse. Insane from start to finish in New Mexico State. They couldn't get anything going throughout the whole Hardpoint. And it really comes down to the SMG battle. I'm sure when we take a look at the score lines for both of these squads, the scoreboard for the players, Saucy and Mickey were running around that map for free. They were terrorizing New Mexico State throughout Mercado, and I will say it, I mean, they just got outclassed right there in the SMG forum.
They absolutely did. We're getting to see some highlights here as well. There was a few times where New Mexico State had an ability to break in and get a little bit of a setup, but I think we had a 100% break percentage in that game from Longhorn Gaming. I mean, there was no point in that map where I ever felt like New Mexico State had a solid setup outside of maybe P5 when they were outside of 10. And they still got broken on that hill. The one hill that they early rotated and had all 4 players set up and ready to go, they were broken within 30 seconds of the hill. You're going to get to see it right here. That kill from Mickey was the blow that finally broke that hill there as well. And yeah, I mean, we said it once, I'll say it again. This was just an absolute pure masterclass here from Longhorn Gaming, really showing you how to play Mercado Hardpoint and really show you how to rotate on this map properly and walk away with the best possible outcome.
I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, I guess the changes that this team has been making and the improvements throughout their season. Just, I guess, the communication, the timings, the rotations, everything on point for Longhorn Gaming through map number 1 is going to lead them to a 100-point club over the number 2 team in the West right now. New Mexico State Aggies, they definitely were not ready for that. We look at the scoreboard, and even when it comes down to the slang, everybody negative except Jolteon, who went even on New Mexico State. The other side, Longhorn Gaming, it was Mickey and Saucy walking multi-kills, Jesse. Velocity was 13 and 22. He didn't really have to do anything.
I mean, even Crit, if you want to put him in there as well, 24 and 16, definitely had a very good map as well for Longhorn Gaming. I asked for playoff Crit. We absolutely got him there inside of that map number 1. But Colin, kind of got to reel back in just a little bit here, though, because you know what? They did what they need to do. We spoke about it before. Longhorn Gaming, if they wanted to win this series, both hard points were definitely going to need to be won by them, I think, when you look at the overall kind of just the way that both these two teams play. But now we've got them full 5 maps again, and we go towards a search and destroy next. This is where we probably have the most clear advantage, if out of any of the maps, will be between maps 2, 3, and 5 going the way of New Mexico State Aggies. They are very, very good at search. They're very good at control. Whereas Longhorn Gaming, they're okay, but they've only been okay all year. They're really 50-50. They'll win some, they lose some, right? So now if you're Longhorn, you're really trying to steal one of these next 2 maps and trying to close this out in 4.
And it comes down to, again, the veto process, though, Jesse, from Longhorn Gaming today. Completely outsmarting New Mexico State and how they handle this, because yeah, they're not the best search and destroy team, but going to Mercado S&D, Longhorns are 1-0, New Mexico State 0-1. Yep. So again, when it comes down to the veto process, the picks and bans, Longhorn Gaming, I feel like they just won it today. They did their homework and they exactly set this series up for victory. So I mean, this whole best of 5 is Longhorns Gaming just saying, okay, this is our turnaround time. This is where we really get to show exactly who we are and what we are prepared to do when we move into the playoffs.
And I mean, if you're Longhorn as well, you're coming into this and you're just trying to ride that wave of momentum right now that you got inside of that last map as well. And momentum in COD can be a really, really crazy thing. If you're New Mexico State right now, you're just trying to sit back, you're trying to take a deep breath. Hey, we just got 100-point club. We need to come back out with the fire. Winning that first round of the search and destroy for this team is going to be really, really important so that they don't kind of spiral down that dark hole that you can find yourselves in sometimes, especially in a map like Mercado and on a game like Modern Warfare 2. Because this game, I mean, if you fall down early and you aren't playing well as a team, I mean, you can definitely find yourself getting 3-0 to Nova series very, very quickly. And that is the opposite of what you want right now for the New Mexico State Aggies.
Well, luckily for Longhorns, you know, a team who doesn't have the best search and destroy record, your subs were on fire in map number 1. I think when you're kind of looking at this from New Mexico State's point of view, I think your first step is slowing down Longhorns, trying to find some first bloods, make sure that Mickey and Saucy can't play up in your face and aggressive, and force them to kind of walk into uncharted territory, force them to take egregious plays, and then play off of the slow play that you normally see from the ARs of New Mexico State University, and the fact that their ARs were looking good back in map number 1. They just couldn't keep up with the pacing.
Yeah, right. And I think we also hit on it before, and I can kind of go back and hit it on it again here. the flex battle right between these two teams when we're talking about it, because we were talking about Phenom earlier on going up against Crit, and Crit definitely won that battle inside of that map number 1. I know you were really touching on the subs, and yes, the subs definitely on the side of Longhorn Gaming playing at a much higher level than what we saw from New Mexico State. I think that map though in particular is one of those maps where it's very, very hard to dominate as a submachine gun player when you are constantly trying to push into the hills over and over again, just because of the long range lines of sights and how many small choke points that you have to push through. If you're pushing through that and you've got a TAC 56 ironed up at you, it's going to be very, very tough to be able to push a lot of those. So Longhorn Gaming, yes, their subs looking a lot better there, but also their ARs and their flex player absolutely kind of won them that map in terms of just being able to open everything up for their subs to be able to run rampant.
You don't really talk about often, a transfer in the CCL being as good as this one right here. I mean, Crit, he had a good run over on Illini constant times. I know back in Cold War was, one that just immediately pops into my head, the run that they had with Illini COD. But it's just when you move a player with his, knowledge and his veterancy inside of the CCL and the amount of times, he's been in the situation, he's done that, and he's going to bring some good knowledge to this team and some good leadership to this team when they really needed it. And you saw it in that map number 1, how strict they were on their rotations, how comfortable they were throughout that map. You have to imagine that it comes down to the leadership on that one. So a lot of the play calls from Longhorn Gaming, they were making the right calls, not only in-game but out of game with the veto system. And now heading into this map number 2 of New Mexico State, if they were feeling comfortable going into the series, they just got a very rude wake-up call.
Yeah, they definitely did, right? That's one of those ones where at 6 a.m. you're getting a bucket of ice tossed on you. It's not a good time. And if you're New Mexico State, I mean, this is kind of a must-win map if you're asking me right now. The way that you just got dominated in that hard point, the way that you were out-rotated by Longhorn Gaming, if you allow them to get all the way to that map number 4 with a map lead as well, it's going to be a tough time. And yeah, I like this play as well. Very early on, we're seeing a B hit come through here from the side of Longhorn Gaming. 2 kills immediately go their way, but Electric with a massive nade to at least stop that bomb plant from immediately going down.
Gonna say at least you stop that bomb from going down. You give Jolteon a little bit of time to see if you can work through the back alley. 5 HP. Jolteon somehow stays alive. Mickey's gonna hunt him down still. And Electric, I mean, now it's gotta go into ace form for this first round. Gonna recover attack 56. Maybe gonna help out with that battle versus Crit all the way up top, but Crit's gonna throw some shoulders, get the knowledge. Electric's gonna give away his position, and what a class act attack over to that B site right off the rip from Longhorn Gaming.
Big first win, though, from Mickey as well. If Mickey doesn't win that initial first gunfight down on the bomb site itself, I mean, that could have been a very, very different round going the way of New Mexico State, because that player gets knocked immediately. That bomb plant takes even longer to go down. You maybe even be able to get a player to be able to rotate back around. So that massive first gunfight win, really, really big for the side of Longhorn Gaming just to get that first round on the board there. And I mean, kind of the opposite of what we said we needed to see from New Mexico State off the rip there. They need to be quick. They need to be decisive with what they want to do. And they were, but they just unfortunately just had the wrong call right off the start of the game here. This time, though, you know what, on their offense for themselves, they're going to get very aggressive over towards A. They actually get a first blood immediately as well. But now still just trying to find their way into the site. A trade will come through.
And Electric kind of throwing away the bomb right there. Phenom goes big to at least find one of the aggressive subs, but now it's to see if he can find a second one. And Velocity through the middle of the map. Nice raid onto Oze. That's going to really push Aggies now. Gets the ropes, and when I blink, I miss it, Jesse. 2 quick kills from the players over towards Planters, and they rip Aggies right off those head glitches.
Yeah, got them right there. And the big thing, too, is the trophy setup as well from Longhorn Gaming here. Having that trophy down on the floor really stopped them from being able to push out that side of the map, not allowing them to take advantage of using those tacticals and those nades to be able to get into a good position. In Longhorn Gaming, I mean, they knew that they had full site control there. There was no chance for New Mexico State outside of maybe that gunfight through the middle of the map, but Velocity wins that. That's a pretty easy round from that point on for Longhorn, because everybody on New Mexico State at that point is completely trapped in. This time, Longhorn Gaming, a little bit more of a normal push than what we see here on Mercado. Everybody running over towards the safe side.
Gonna find a nade. Saucy goes down again. Back and forth trades leave us in a 2v2. Crit gets sought out to Oze. Nice looks over to the middle of the map. Pushes Velocity quickly into a 1 versus 2. Bomb down all the way upstairs in Canteen. I like this call from both the subs of the Aggies to just kind of post up, hold irons inside. One down low, one up top. Velocity's going to give this one away. Oze is going to fly. Lots of damage done from both sides. Velocity, 42 HP, just trying to finesse at this point. He has time. 47 seconds. Enough to get that regen out and see if you can isolate one of these kills. Right now, if you're New Mexico State, Jesse, all you have to do is hold these corners on the inside. There's no reason to leave Cantina at this point.
Yeah, the only thing I will say, maybe New Mexico State doesn't know that that bomb's down. That might be the only thing that they don't know, because you can see they're actually playing pretty far apart right now. He can take a one-on-one here and be able to get away before a second gunfight comes through immediately, but you need to guess all the right corners, and you're very much so running out of time here if you're Velocity.
Fastnev's going to be just watching over. First shot there. Jose going to finish this off with the lineup. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no, Colin, they lined up. Oh. It happens too often. Too often in Call of Duty. They go for the double chow. Velocity is very weak, but gets the shots through, finds the double kill, shuts them down completely. And if this map couldn't have gone from bad to worse, it just did here for the New Mexico State Aggies.
Just when you thought you had it, 1v2, you're both in fantastic positions to shut down Velocity. Attack 56 in a pre-fire, that's going to be haunting your nightmares for at least the next couple of weeks. Electric's going to get blooded. Saucy finally going to activate. 2-3. Hasn't had the best search and destroy, but hey, 3-0. Doesn't matter right now. Saucy's wrongdoings. It's just the rest of the team is picking up the slack. Saucy going to find another one. That's 2 kills inside Cantina. Still going to keep that bomb down. Still going to force Aggies to kind of flood on in through chokeholds. Phenom's going to clean up Saucy, bring this back to a 2v2, but will they read both of these players on the outside? Yeah, Velocity's going to get beamed. Phenom makes this a 1 versus 2, and a big shot down there from Aggies. They finally stopped the bleeding.
That's a big round, too. I mean, you kind of needed that there if you were New Mexico State. You were getting into that dangerous territory where you could have been down 4-0 and in a very, very tough spot to be able to come back to win this game. That's a big round win. Not only did they win the round, Colin, but they also 2v3 inside of that round to walk away with it. Massive, massive two-piece coming in from Phenom in middle of the map there to be able to find the first one onto Saucy and then be able to pick up the second one through middle of the map. Really, really big kills. That really makes up for that 1v2 as well from the last round. We could be in a 2v2, though, at this point, but you can't harp on the old. You just got to push forward, and that's exactly what you see there. Now, though, from the side of Longhorn Gaming, first blood with a nade over the top as Crit finds one.
That's the second time Crit's got first blood with that nade. Longhorn Gaming looking to see if they can wipe that mistake right off the face of this planet. The fast round here in number 5. You know, I'm just looking to stay alive, pepper away from these shots. Smart call to just back off, but instead you're just going to feed into Velocity, who is watching through the middle of the map, so both players again line up for the AR. Velocity's going to get all 3, and he's having himself a game.
Really is. If they don't end up falling in the last round, Velocity would very easily have a streak right now. Might even be on, what, another 3 in a row here, so a good opportunity now to maybe play towards some more streaks. But I mean, being up 4-1, the game might be over by the time they find those streaks. We'll just have to keep our eyes on it as we go a little further inside of this map. But this is such a surprise to see so far. Longhorn Gaming have really done their homework. Like you said, really did a good job in the veto process. And so far, fully paying off in all fashions of the word right now here for Longhorn Gaming as they go and they look for another round on the board here. Big stuns and nades coming through. You can see a lot of damage on the board immediately here for New Mexico State, and Saucy up on the top, already looking to see if he can find a first blood, and Oze might just come right into that, and he does.
He's got no idea. Oze is going to go down first. Kurt's going to find a second one. He lines up too. Aggies, I mean, they are dropping like flies in this round. Jolteon trying to find himself at least a kill to bring this back, but the hunt is on. Longhorn Gaming, they run through New Mexico State in this round, and I will say, Jesse, this is why I love the end of the season so much, the end of at least the regular season so much, is because teams, they just level up more and more the longer this goes on, and, you know, a team who makes changes into the 2023 season, maybe starts off a little bit slow, doesn't have the coordination and the synergy like they'd hope to, but Longhorn Gaming, I mean, they have worked on it, and they look like a completely new team.
I mean, just getting better and better as the season goes along, right? If you're Longhorn Gaming. And when you look at this team as a whole, I mean, yeah, you may have lost a few games early on in the season to a couple really good teams, but now you're really starting to pick it up here if you're Longhorn Gaming.
Yeah.
Now, if you're New Mexico State University, I mean, you're not out of this game just yet. You know, it is 5-1, but you can take this absolutely one round at a time. I think the big thing between these two teams right now and what you're seeing from the domination from Longhorn on this map is they're getting much more usage out of their tacticals and their nades than we're seeing from New Mexico State University. So look for that maybe in the deeper portions of this game. And it actually looks like, Colin, we might see a little bit of a bomb wrap here from Longhorn Gaming. This could completely catch off New Mexico State.
Jose's going to get the information. He's watching the cross. One's going to take the long way around, but as soon as the bomb carrier crit, he's going to get actually headshot there, and that's bomb down. That's going to put Velocity in quite a sticky situation. 1 versus 3. I mean, you lined up 2 last time. Can you make it all 3 players to end the game with 30 seconds left? Time is definitely a big factor on Velocity's mind. He's going to spot out Jose. Couple shots down range. 80 HP. He's going to take the chow and win it. 1 versus 2 now. Nice read there onto Phenom. Gets the shots on, but there's just no time, and I'm sure New Mexico State, they know this. Jolteon, Phenom, they're nowhere to be found. Velocity is just going to play the clock, play for the kills, and it's not going to come to either of those. New Mexico State Aggies, they stay alive.
I will say I would have loved to have seen Velocity's back down at the end of that fight there. Maybe just try to get in behind gate and just play your life. You're on a 4 spree. That streak could come massive by the end of this game, right? I mean, if not finding a kill with the crews, at least getting good information from it on where all the other players are being located at could be a really, really big thing. Yes, you lose the round, but I mean, you get 2 more kills in the next round. You got the streak for yourself there. So maybe would have liked to seen them play their life a little bit better there, but when you're 8-2, you're shooting really, really well. You just want to take every gunfight that you can. Unfortunately, just don't walk away with that one there. But this time through, we'll see New Mexico State again on the offense. Stuns and nades all going in over the top. And again, first blood off of some really good nades being thrown. Crit finds that damage.
Musasi, a quick sprint into Cantina. He's already upstairs. But Jolteon rereads it. And New Mexico State, a new breath of life into the search to destroy Velocity again. 1 versus 3. I'm liking this new form from the Aggies, but Jesse's a little bit too late for them. We're going to have to see if Velocity's going to get eyes onto Jolteon right now. Brings this into a 1 versus 2. Bomb goes down. Time now against Velocity to start to make this play. The Semtex should give a little bit of information to New Mexico State exactly where they need to look, as with 30 seconds left, Velocity's just looking for any mistake on the map.
Yeah, see if we can find any pick.
Phenom's going to be up top. Electric's going to be down low. No way. I thought Jesse for a second. Oh, Phenom, he makes it look so good.
Oh my god. I thought for a second there as well, Colin, that Velocities was about to pop that 2-piece. But Phenom, look, he was really weak too. You can see the red coming through, got shot a few times there in that fight. Had to have been around half HP, and Phenom will win out on the gunfight there through tunnel. That got scary though, especially with the way that Velocity is shooting right now. Very, very rough first game for Velocity too, off of a win. Going pretty negative in terms of the 100-point clubbing. New Mexico State, but has absolutely answered back with a massive map number 2 here for Longhorn Gaming as well.
They said Velocity, you didn't have to do too much in game 1. Now, you know, have the limelight here in game 2, although Mexico State can find another first blood. Phenom gets 2. Jolteon still alive on that head glitch. Velocity, yet another 1 versus 3, Jesse. I mean, you have to think. You have to think at some point, New Mexico State, it seems like they found a recipe to success in this search and destroy. I said it. I mean, find those first bloods, play off them well. That's 3 rounds in a row where New Mexico State have found the first blood, and they haven't given up, dumb deaths after it. They've stayed alive, which is the big part.
And a big part, too, is that the fact that they're not getting first blooded off getting naded every single round as well. So trophies are going down now. They're able to block out on a lot of those nades here so far in these rounds. And yeah, you're right. I mean, absolutely big answers here. New Mexico State Aggies 1 round away from sending us to a round 11 here, and it's on the back of Phenom right now. 12-5, has the cruise missile as well. We'll see the trophy go down, block out all the stuns and nades, but they're just making noise over here right now. They're actually going to make a full wrap over towards B with the bomb, and cruise missile will drop to give them some protection to get this bomb down. We'll get all the information that there's nobody there right now.
No trophies, but both players, they sneak into dark. Bomb's going to go down at B. Phenom a little bit disconnected, but he's watching the middle of the map, and that's the important part. Who's going to draw first blood? Electric with a little bit of a sneaky route. Mickey's got no clue. First blood going to go the way of New Mexico, but instantly it's a fire back 3 in a row. 1 versus 2. New Mexico State looking to stay alive. And Velocity backed against the ropes again as Jolteon and Oze. This time not expecting them to line up against each other. 20 seconds. They just need to stay alive. Velocity on the inside. We're going to round 11.
Oh, Colin. I mean, I was not expecting this off the start of the game, but New Mexico State has made some great adjustments here. I love the dummy play over towards Cantina in the last round here as well. Throw some stuns, throw some nades, then drop the cruise missile and give your teammates all the information in the world on where those players are coming from. Bomb goes down for free. You walk away with another big round victory there. If you're New Mexico State University, and if you're Longhorn Gaming, this is where it can get really scary. You don't want to let New Mexico walk away with this map. You had this map in the bag, up 5-1. Could have been a 6-0 in all honesty as well, instead of that 2v3. This needs to be a map win here for Longhorn. You can't let this one slip. But look at where that bomb is going once again. This time, though, you do have a player from Longhorn Gaming here.
Oh, Velocity just going to tease them a little bit. He's on the run. Important part is he stays alive, and he actually dips into 10. Still going to go down. Jolteon, big pick to open up the site. Bomb hasn't yet been in a position to actually go down. The reinforcements from Longhorns Gaming have actually repositioned into a place for a quick retake, but all the advantages over to New Mexico State.
It's very hard to push into this bomb site here. You need to find a pick and crit. Not able to find one here. Will find one finally on the outside, but it's all up to Saucy. Saucy goes down at New Mexico State University. If we were on land call, we'd be seeing them jumping up and screaming in the face of Longhorn Gaming right now. That was a 5-1 lead. Closed it with a 6-5 victory, and you are right back in this series.
What? What was that? What just happened? Turn the cameras off. I mean, what did we just watch, Jesse? The absolute composure out of New Mexico State to get that win. 5-1 down. They climb back to a round 11. Velocity finds himself in not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 1vx situations to put them all the way into that position. And you just got to tip your hat where it's due. Give New Mexico State their flowers, because the fact that they were able to stay together and play like that towards the later portions of that Search and Destroy, I mean, not many teams can make that happen.
Might as well have been a 1v3 in the final round there as well, Colin, because Velocities was the only player over by 10 trying to fight with the players from New Mexico, and unfortunately gets first blooded again. And here we will see once again the big start to this game here between them. It was all Longhorn early on in this game. We saw a big 1v2 from the likes of Velocities, but it was one round in particular from New Mexico State that really brought them back in. They were down in a 2 versus 3. They win that round out, breathe some life into the team just to give them that first round on the board. Instead of going down 4-0, they end up only going down 3-1. Yes, they lose the next 2 rounds in a row, but it was all New Mexico State from that point on.
As we go through this, I mean, every single play that you see from Longhorn was just so put together, so well thought out. The SMGs were finding those first bloods, getting into, Cantina basically for free. But as soon as that stopped, as soon as you didn't have that pressure from the SMGs on the inside, and you didn't have crit, opening up with those nade kills, New Mexico State, they slowed their roll. They played more patient and maybe a little over-aggressive. Longhorn Gaming, they just kind of got stopped in their tracks, just kept on feeding first bloods over towards the Aggies, and slowly but surely, Mercado Search and Destroy just fell through their fingertips, and we get a look back at that, and I mean, not a great game for Mickey and Saucy. Complete turnaround from map number 1. 6-8 for Saucy, 5-7 for Mickey. On the other side, Phenom was absolutely lights out. Him and Jolteon both in that AR role, Jesse. You kind of said that the ARs played a big played a big part in Mercado as a whole, and Jolteon and Phenom towards the end of that really turned up.
Yeah, I mean, Colin, remember at the start when we said that Phenom is him? I think we just seen why there in the back half of that map. Really, really turned it on. Ends up going on an 8 spree throughout that map. And, I mean, they basically win that round 10 for free just off of the cruise missile alone. Yes, you don't find value in it in terms of kills, but you find value in a whole lot of map control and also being able to get all that information on where the rest of the Longhorn Gaming players are coming from. And you know what as well? I think that just being able to have that information on how Longhorn were kind of retaking that site played a factor in round 11 as well, because it was almost the exact same retake attempt from Longhorn Gaming that we saw inside of that round number 10. Yes, you don't have the cruise missile, but where else are they really going to come from if not from those same positions? And New Mexico State University, they fully take advantage. They walk away with the map.
Well, while we get ready for this map number 3, let's show some love to our sponsors, America's Navy. I want to give them a big thank you for helping put on this whole season of CCL. And if you're an avid watcher, you might know this, but if not, did you know that the Navy allows you to earn a college education at their expense? And while enlisted, you can attend classes even while you're on the ship. So you can go check them out at Navy.com. Go check out all the career paths they have. It might be the place for you to go. Even if you want to compete on their Coach and Glory's esports team, go check them out. That's Navy.com. We're going to throw it to a quick break. And when we come back, it's a swing map mode. We got control on the menu, and you don't want to miss it. Welcome back to your Tuesday night action for College COD of the 2023 season. We got the last day of regular season, Jesse. 2 matches to go through, and match number 1, I mean, I don't think we could have asked for a better matchup between New Mexico State and Longhorn Gaming. Longhorn, they bring the fire in map number 1, but New Mexico State, towards the end of that search and destroy, they finally woke up, joined us in this best of 5, and they said, hey, let's get 5 rounds in a row to win this and even up the series.
Yeah, Colin, I mean, they were, what, 1 round away from being 100-point clubbed and then 6-1 in a search and destroy. So definitely a good wake-up call there for New Mexico State, coming back from down 5 rounds, force the round 11, and then eventually walk away with the round victory there for themselves as well. But it's not over yet. Like you said, we got a back half of this series here. That, you know what, that Hydro hardpoint, I still think that favors Longhorn Gaming. These next 2 maps really going to be important in terms of deciding who ends up walking away with the victory here, because I mean, if you're Longhorn Gaming, I don't think you want to go back up against New Mexico State and another search and destroy, especially the fact that you pretty much had that one in the bag and threw it all away there.
Yeah.
Now we get to go to the most fun control map as well, so I think we're going to be in for a really fun next 3 maps here.
Well, it's something to go by going into this hotel control for both of these teams. You know, map number 1, New Mexico State, they realize you can't get ahead of yourself in the series, and Longhorn Gaming, they realize that too. I mean, they are the team that is the number 21 team in the top 25, 5-3 on the season. They haven't had the best season. You know, just an outstanding map number 1, but again, they have to realize that they're going up against the number 2 team in the West, and you can't expect every single map to be as easy as that first one was. So moving forward throughout this, we're guaranteed that map 4 Hydro, Jesse, guaranteed another hard point, but going through this control, again, it goes back to the keys of victory for Longhorn Gaming. You and I both agreed they have to win this in 4, so we're looking at Longhorn Gaming to turn things around and show up on the respawn again.
Yeah, that's absolutely what they need here. And I mean, they've been going toe-to-toe with them, right, in terms of the slaying. So the slaying has not been the issue. I think it was just that last map. They maybe got a little bit too far ahead of themselves. Were counting their chickens before they hatched. Unfortunately, they didn't walk away with the map victory there. Now they got to come back. They got to do the hard part all over again. They got to get back in the lead. Got to try to close out a map here against New Mexico State. And yeah, you were talking about the top 25 rankings. If they can win this map, Colin, this is going to be a massive like point to put on your board going towards the top 25. You will propel yourselves up that leaderboard for sure.
Alarms will be going off, fires will be started, riots will be had in the top 25 chat. Won't know what to do with the number 18 versus the number 21 team. Longhorn Gaming really proving themselves on this Tuesday. Starting off in the offense too. This A zone, it's chalked, it's done. Phenom's going to take one last look in, but I imagine it's going to be captured, or I imagined it was going to be captured because they're in the nick of time. Shuts down Crit, and Velocity is going to have to back up and fully secure it.
Yeah, we'll finally finish that off. We'll actually spot Electric as well inside of Carpet, and so able to at least, you know, find that player there. Know that you need to try to find your way out of here. A lot of the players, though, on the side of Longhorn, it was actually looking like they were playing to play for exits, but somehow Velocity slips their way through the line. The big job, though, is going to be clearing out bedroom, and that's exactly the first focus here. Bottom bedroom, Oze falls, and I mean, you've got an opening now if you're Longhorn Gaming to try to move your way onto the B zone.
Jolteon's got to be careful because he at least needs to find one. Oze from downtown saves the day, and Phenom off the respawn going to help Jolteon out to get a little bit of a forward pressure. All that work to get rid of bedroom control, and one well-placed nade from Oze, and it's all into shambles now. So Longhorn Gaming got to go back to step 1, breaking through that bedroom. Saucy and Mickey the dynamic duo in the sub roll. They're going to get it done. Hop into the zone. Stop the clock at a minute 17, but off to respawn again. Longhorn just not able to really solidify themselves in this B zone.
Yeah, the problem is they haven't been able to get their ARs pushed up yet, right? To a spot where they can be in those dominant positions to hold down the middle of the map, to hold down the right side of B, and really stop the side of New Mexico State from being able to get out of Spa and really like put them in that really uncomfortable spot here. So it's a good job here so far from New Mexico State. And now, Colin, if it was hard enough for them to clear one player from Bedroom, how about three, as you've got three players now on the side of New Mexico State who have fully pushed forward and gotten themselves into some really annoying positions.
Player number one on Longhorns is going to push all the way through statue. Jolteon's going to be really the only player here to punish. He's going to take some shots, give away his positioning. Mickey has some nice shots to get them really dug deep into this B zone. Nade's going to land. Mickey is saucy in a little bit of trouble. Electric on the flank. Mickey try to stay alive. They get the first secured tick. Even a second one there, but still with 32 seconds, lives even. This is very winnable for the Aggies.
Yeah, Jolteon goes massive there, honestly, to be able to just put down a good amount of pressure to make the rest of the Longhorn players have to turn around, be looking your way instead of being able to hop on that hill and just be able to put their full focus in the front side of Spa, completely shut things down. And now 10 seconds left. It's going to be very, very tough to get onto this point, especially when you still have a player hiding in behind you. And it's Oze once again, or sorry, Electric once again from the back, able to drop two. That's going to be the round for sure. No way Crit's able to jump onto this one. They will fall as well. And as good of a first round as that is, and as close as they got, I mean, a very good answer from New Mexico State. A strong defensive hold there on B.
They stay in it. You know, they don't give up the offensive round. That's the important part for the Aggies. I mean, you give up 5 ticks of progression, and, you know, if this goes to a round 5, it is a very, very good round from Longhorn Gaming. But the fact that you're just able to stop that B zone, a round win is going to be enough right now for New Mexico State, who are really looking to turn this whole series around after a lackluster map number 1. So they stay toe-to-toe in the slang, Jesse, for sure. New Mexico State, I mean, it really comes down to the way that they were able to handle those plays off the respawns, and especially a couple of heroics from individual players to keep that B zone alive.
Yeah, rough round number 1 there from Crit as well, something we do need to keep our eyes on, as he really is the X factor here for this Longhorn Gaming team. If Crit's playing well, Longhorn Gaming is playing well, and a 2-8 start to the game, not a strong start for him.
Oh, 2-8. Already gets first blooded over towards A. Zone's going to be stacked by 2. 2 players working through Chandelier. Electric playing front line. Almost misses out on the first. Crit's going to get the change, but the trade, but is it going to be enough? Crit now trying to take a look into the restaurant. He has a flanker. It is going to be Velocity on his wing. The pincer play here. Velocity's going to open it up, but Crit goes down immediately. Crit actually gets team killed by Velocity. So 4 go down for Longhorn Gaming in that A zone. Chalk it up. 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
Velocity trying to rip the head of Crit, or of the New Mexico State Aggie player, and unfortunately ends up taking out Crit in the process. They line up, but in the wrong way this time here.
Yeah.
For the likes of Longhorn Gaming, but you know, it's all right. They can still play for a good, strong defense here. We've seen a worse situation, honestly, for the likes of New Mexico State in the last round. Held very, very well throughout the majority of the finishing portions of that round, and now you can see you get a couple kills from Mickey. Everybody pushes forward. You get up into bedroom control. Now you just need to engage that spawn trap and really try to pinch these New Mexico State Aggie players inside of their spawn here.
And I think the one thing you're looking at to find success in this round, if you are Longhorn Gaming, is don't allow those 2 ticks. At least, you know, minimize it to 1, if not 0 ticks of progression over towards B, and that is a job well done for a round win to equalize. You have the advantage in ticks. Now you're looking to see if you can control that going forward. Velocity trying to take up shop here in reception. Jolteon's going to fire away with a 3-piece. That's going to force Velocity now to take a route through luggage. Jolteon, they don't know where to look. Finally, he's going to give himself away. Nice shots there. Jolteon on 4 in a row. The zone's going fast. You need the players off respawn to get into the mix for Longhorn. Through the middle of the map, you get shut down. Through T2, you get shut down. B zone getting secured. Velocity's not going to get there in time. And New Mexico State Aggies, just a different beast here on Hotel Control.
Yeah, it's really, really tough if you're Longhorn there. I mean, they had the setup that they want. Everything was going good, but then Jolteon pops the 3-piece. I think that's exactly what we're seeing on the screen here. And was Jolteon the player to get the 4th as well through the side of bottom luggage? I think they may have found that final kill there as well. So Jolteon really putting the team on their back in that round there, at least in that final break. at New Mexico State. I mean, this series was looking really, really bad about 5 rounds of search and destroy and 2 rounds of control ago, and now they look like to take full control of this series here, Colin.
Well, what a change 5 minutes can do for a team. And New Mexico State, they look like a brand new team here. Jose's got new form of confidence with this Vastnev. Take control of rugs. Players for Longhorn spawning up towards kitchen. So Jose's got a little bit more work to do until he's actually solidified there. Velocity's going to trade him out. 2 players go down for New Mexico State. So Mickey's going to hop onto A. Stop the clock at a minute 3. Not really anybody here from New Mexico to actually get some eyes on and stop this. You're going to get Jose caught through Chandelier. Saucy watching through the middle of the map. Phenom should get shot from behind, and he will. So A-zone, I'd chalk it up at this point. Put all your eggs over to the B zone now.
And now this is where you might get a little bit worried here. Saucy actually makes the full transition over from A into B. Now if they can find that player up in top bedroom, could be really, really good positioning here for them. But unfortunately, they'll end up falling. And this A-zone's not even completely finished yet. Finally, Velocities will win that last one-on-one. Be able to finish off the A-zone. But this is almost the exact same setup that we saw from the side of New Mexico State in the last round. Once they finally got one locked in, this is a really, really dangerous spot here if you're Longhorn Gaming. You need to find some kills in quick to get out of your spawn here.
Yeah, but Jose is going to be causing some chaotic spawns for Longhorn Gaming. So as soon as the rest of them spawn up, they hunt him down. Now to work through bedroom. Electric is going to tuck himself into a corner here behind the door. Players on the hunt. Saucy's going to be the first one up to bat. Nice shutdown there onto the first. The trade from Jolteon's going to keep the numbers even on the inside here. But Mickey and Velocity, they break the doors open. Jose's got to find a kill. He gets 2. Velocity's going to stop this clock, and I like this call from him. Just looking for a little bit more kills to allow a smooth transition off the respawn for the rest of your teammates.
That's a good call, right? Just move forward. Try to pick these New Mexico State Aggie players off spawn as they come up. And it's going well for Velocities, but none of his teammates are getting back to them. We'll find the 6th in a row. We'll finally secure that first tick of progression. And you do get the spawn up close here if you're the Longhorn players. Now you can stack the zone. You need to hold off one final push from Longhorn.
Players up top bedroom looking for the re-break. Saucy, Mickey, they go down. Velocity still taking heads. All alone on the inside. It's going to be great. He's at least able to get 1 before dropping that 3rd tick. Not going to be secured. A minute 6. 2 life advantage. Jolteon looking to make that a little bit less now as he's worked his way up towards patio. It's going to find a big kill there, but now they need to worry about bottom bedroom. Electric's in such a good position to punish.
You've lost your cover here, and you're kind of cushion if you're the side of New Mexico State. You don't have those extra 2 kind of ticks that you can give away. This needs to be a solid hole from this point on if you want to close this game out in this the 3rd and final round here of the control. But so far, so good. They've gotten the setup that they want. It's a 9-9 life count, so they're definitely still right in this. A first blood now will go the way of Mickey. The hard thing is as soon as one break goes through for New Mexico State, it could be the game.
Fritz cleared that bathroom. It's important for Velocity to stay alive, but as he goes down, all eyes forward for the rest of New Mexico State. Jose's going to go 1 for 1. Jolteon's going to clear out crit. Through the middle of the map, the last 2 players, Longhorn, they need to go. They need to fly. Saucy's going to get dropped. Jolteon is on a tear right now, and he's got Phenom on his wing. 5 seconds left. Nobody's going to get there in time. Mickey gets cut down. And New Mexico State, good morning. Welcome to the best of 5. They're in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this was something that we fully saw coming into this one. Once we saw that massive map 1, the 5-1 victory in map number 2, all of a sudden, Colin, we got a 2-1 map lead here for New Mexico State University, and honestly, it's probably the best outcome for them with the map that we're going to next, with Hydro Hardpoint not being one of their more favorite maps that they've played throughout the year here so far. And I mean, if we're talking about a confidence boost, Colin, and you know, the wave of momentum that we were talking about, how it was really, really up here, right, for the start of the game for Longhorn Gaming. It's kind of on its way down right now. It's not looking too good. If you're Longhorn Gaming, you really need to answer back with a big WAP win next.
Yeah, you really, really do. As we get to look back at that map too. I mean, that was just sheer dominance from New Mexico State from start to finish. Good control on Hotel. I mean, and it wasn't pretty at all on their defenses. I mean, they gave up a total of 10 ticks across 2 defensive rounds, so it was really down to the wire. But as soon as that 3rd tick was getting worked on, I mean, it felt like a fire was lit underneath this team, and a lot of really clutch plays coming out from both Oze and Jolteon. to, just hold on to that B zone as long as they can. And, almost like Velocity did on that last round, just it was just constantly New Mexico State were just allowing their respawning players on defense to have that comfortable play back into that B zone and allowed to really shut down Longhorn Gaming on really every front.
Absolutely. And I love that you bring up Jolteon, because that was going to be the player I highlighted here inside of this one. I mean, not only does a great job of playing towards the bedroom side on the defenses and really being annoying to any of the Longhorn Gaming players, but on that offense, I mean, the three-piece they find to break into the B zone on round number 2, and then not only that, but then to find the fourth as well on the flank, just the reads were perfect from Jolteon on that break. And then again, we'll see again here on defense, just a great job from them to finish that game off. Well, I'm sure we'll see the final stats here in just a second as well, but I'm sure they had a very positive game by the end of that one. And honestly, weren't playing, great before this, but a 20-13 map number 3, you'll take that every day of the week. 2,300 damage in 3 rounds as well. Fantastic job from Jolteon.
And, I mean, 9-16 from Crit. We saw playoff Crit back in game number 1, Jesse, but since then he's been very, very quiet. So, heading into the rest of this, I mean, you're going to have to need to see some players really step up. Saucy, Crit, Mickey, all 3 of them have just been very, very quiet since that comeback on the Search and Destroy. And, Saucy, too, because he was really overperforming back in that map 1 hard points. So, on that SMG roll, the Vastnev, it's only going to get harder as we move into a Hydro. I feel like when we were looking for the sauce, we really just got the juice so far. We got the juice in Mercado, and we're still looking for that sauce. It's just been temporary.
I will say the one thing, though, if you are Longhorn Gaming and you were looking for any map mode combination to kind of reset yourself going into the rest of the series, this is the map mode combination that you want. You're 3-1 on Hydro Hardpoint. You destroyed them on map 1 Mercado. You out-rotated them on every hill. Anytime Longhorn had any glimpse of a setup, you were able to break your way into it. If that doesn't give you confidence going into map number 4, I don't know what will. Except for maybe the fact that you just got smoked in those last 2 maps and the later half of the Search and Destroy, and that control was not very close. So, I mean, if you're Longhorn Gaming, this needs to be a win, and you need to find that success and confidence you had in map number 1. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very tough time for you, and you will walk away with a series loss.
And, it's times like this as a team where you just kind of need to take a step back. You need to collect yourself, talk amongst yourselves, and just say, like, hey, something's not clicking, something's not going right. That pacing that you had in map number 1, the very aggressive play style, it's just not going to work anymore. Ever since, the halfway point of that Mercado when, New Mexico State, the Aggies were just able to slow down and, really play off those opening picks. Ever since then, Longhorn Gaming just have been struggling to, find any pressure, find any, real pacing and rhythm as a full core 4. And heading into this Hydro, I think this is a very, strong map where you can, stabilize and find that pacing back, especially considering, how well we saw Longhorn Gaming really rotating back in that map number 1. Hydro is going to be important exactly, for that fact. And you can have some, comfortable thoughts if you are Longhorn Gaming, knowing that you're 3-1 going into this map, Jesse.
Yeah, and we saw another big thing in this game was Mexico State's ability to kind of regain, right? Hit that regain button through the midst of that map number 2 when they were on the verge of being down 2-0 and getting really smoked through 2 maps. They really kind of sat back. You saw them take a deep breath as a whole collective unit. I mean, not physically, but you could see a difference in the gameplay. As soon as they kind of slowed down, they started trusting off each other. Longhorn Gaming need to make that exact same regain here going into the map 4. We saw the likes of New Mexico State do it. We saw how they were able to bounce back from a rough loss. Now Longhorn Gaming needs to answer back with the exact same thing and going to their best map mode combination. Like we keep saying, this is the best opportunity to do so. But in all honesty, Colin, this is very make or break right now for Longhorn Gaming. If they don't walk away with this, it's going to be a 3-1 victory for New Mexico State University. And they've looked very, very talented here today. But if you're Longhorn Gaming, man, this is your shot to make a big impression on the top 25, to make a big impression on a lot of these teams heading into playoffs, that they need to take you seriously going into these playoffs. Longhorn Gaming, you want to walk away with a map victory here. At least prove some hardpoint dominance. Who really cares what happens after that? But this just, you need to force a game 5 here.
The hardpoints look good. Search and Destroy kind of looked good. Can Longhorn do it again and push this series the distance? The Aggies are going to open up with the first blood. Right hit out immediately by Mickey. Electric going to be swimming all the way onto the flank. Nobody's going to read this. He's got so much time to pick who he wants to shoot at. Going to find the opening one for the break. Electric gets 2. The break immediately back in for New Mexico State. Looking for a little bit more as everybody from Longhorn Gaming just trying to hold on to these P2 spawns.
Yeah, and you can see with 30 seconds left, that's the full focus, right, for Longhorn Gaming, is that they just want to make sure they don't let anybody here on the side of New Mexico State University kind of slip their way through the line. And actually, Mickey's able to push their way up, get back onto the hill, and take some time away from the likes of New Mexico State here. So that's massive in itself. But you'll get a big 4 down. Everybody now on the side of New Mexico State going to start to fly forward, try to push their way in through Dome. First Blood will go their way, but quickly, some quick transfers back, and New Mexico State with a chance to hold it early.
Jolteon, he's going to get shut down too. Phenom, a turn up top on Dome. At least able to cut down 2 before this retake starts. Oze trying to find his way into this. Mickey's going to have a nice sight line right out into the open, and Mickey actually shutting down everybody. Electric's the one to really make a play. Swimming all the way into the deep end. He's going to find his way into the zone. Break with the Vaznev. Only for a moment. It's going to be up to Oze to really hold on to the rest of this. He's going to finally get cleaned up. So scrappy on this hill. They lose the spawns, actually. Longhorn Gaming, they lose the spawns in the back, and the break there from Electric really making it possible for Longhorn to flip things around.
Yeah, good news is at least you get like the first 30 seconds, though, right? If you're New Mexico State, at the very least, the first 20 before Longhorn or before New Mexico was able to really break their way into the game. Now, if you're Longhorn Gaming, it's just about a full setup going over towards this P3 hill. You can absolutely lock down a good amount of time over here at Pipes right now as well. And you can see already a good start. They're zoning out the players on the side of New Mexico State and there, and this will keep forcing the spawn out through middle of the map here for Longhorn.
Jose trying to find a route and shut down there. Nice raids. Velocity finds 3. How good has he been this series? I mean, a lackluster map number 1, but Velocity has really found his own throughout the rest of this remaining best of 5. Mickey's going to get cut down through the middle of the map. Velocity's on 5 in a row, looking for that kill streak. One more, and you have yourself a cruise missile. Not going to be able to get that. Electric shuts him down in front of this zone. Crit's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He's got backup. Now, Crit, how long can you hold on to the rest of this scrap time? 14 seconds that I'm sure Longhorn Gaming want. And Electric, I think he notices that. They get the spawns in the back, and they need to start rotating all the way over to P4 because Longhorn, they've actually flipped this around.
Yeah, heads up play here from the Longhorn Gaming players as they pull a full push across the map here. And they'll actually get a spawn up as well as one of the players spawns up with them. This is getting to a really scary situation where you're going to allow them to string 2 hills together here. You need to find a break early, but so far the kills are not going your way. If you are New Mexico State and Longhorn Gaming, off to a very strong hold here so far. That's all 4 dead. Everybody spawning across the map. And Colin, not very often do you see on a P2 the time get really pushed back and forth like this. But so far P3 and P4 have been dominant holds from Longhorn.
Uncharacteristic here on Hydro. Velocity, who's been finding his own, just slipping into a monstrous form as he's on another 4 spree, looking for that cruise missile the second go around. And I just gotta hold my tongue whenever I see that. I am past cursing Velocity throughout this Hydro. Phenom's gonna shut down Mickey throughout the arches. 9 seconds that you're playing for, and New Mexico State eventually just they need to chalk it up and rotate. We haven't really seen them rotate first yet. It's always been break potential for New Mexico State, never a solidified hold.
And we saw this once inside of map number 1. It was towards the Tin Hill in Mercado. We saw a good solid hold for New Mexico State, but a big break from Longhorn Gaming, and they broke every opportunity they had, and this is a very good start. You got the pinch set up, you've got the first blood, and already pushing into the hill. You don't even find a kill here if you're New Mexico State, and a break immediately to Longhorn Gaming again.
Jose's doing his best cosplay of Crit from last game. 2 and 12 so far through 5 hills. Electric up top. Can he break? In for the extension is going to be New Mexico. Nice play from Electric to get into the mix, and he activates, gets 2. Electric looking to break this open on his own. Unfortunately, going to get a team kill, and that allows Velocity into the play, and it's team kill central here on P5 as Crit's going to take down Velocity. The scrap time goes to Longhorn Gaming. We look back to our second set of rotations now, Jesse, with Longhorn in a comfortable lead.
At the very least, if you're Longhorn, though, or at the very least, if you're New Mexico State here, you do have an opportunity to flip this map. Keep your spawns over towards P2. That needs to be your main focus right now. But you also have a player uncontested right now, sitting inside of P1, just getting free time at the moment. This is going to be a massive one-on-one right now between player 2 and 7 on the backside, as player 7 has actually snuck the line, and the spawns have flipped. You can see player 6 will spawn on him.
Jose stays alive as long as he can to get those kills. As much time as humanly possible inside of that P1 setup. Jose's actually going to spawn up towards P2 and called out Saucy to make the play. Just waiting for him to activate on this crossfire. He takes down Jolteon. That's going to, give Electric the heads up that he needs to go get that trade. Electric on the inside of that P1. He's going to go down. Phenom is going to get caught as well. Saucy goes big, and Crit's there to back him up. So Longhorn Gaming, they give up a little bit of time at P1, Jesse, but they solidify spawns for P2.
Yeah, you're entering very dangerous waters here now. If you're New Mexico State, this is a full setup here for Longhorn Gaming on P2. This is not something that we were able to see them do in the first set of rotations. They never got a full setup here, so it was never able to be solidified and really shut down any pushes from the side of New Mexico State. But this time through, a much stronger hold. 3 go down in the feed, and you really don't have anybody close if you're New Mexico State to push into this hill. It's going to be another 10 seconds before you can make another solid push.
The Aggies, they want to go, and they want to go now. Unfortunately, they're walking into the ARs, and a crossfire here from Saucy and Velocity is going to make this so difficult to push through that dome setup. Phenom, at least able to find one. Can you get anything more than that? No, Velocity is shooting nukes through this TAC 56. 19 and 13, and he's on the run. Looking to see if you can flip this out already. Velocity, he is everywhere all at once.
And if you're New Mexico State here, you've had a really hard time not allowing players to sneak their way through. You do spot out Velocity, though, so that's massive. Yeah. But you're in a very dangerous position in this game right now, down 224 to 91. You need a monumental hold here to give yourselves an opportunity to come back in this game. They pretty much need to do what the likes of Longhorn did to them in the first set and really string hills 3 and 4 together somehow here.
Well, at least, Jesse, it's not going to be another 100-point club for New Mexico State. They can start with that. Working on step 2, though. It's holding pipes and not allowing for a break. Phenom in the back. He's going to lock down 2 electric breaks. And this hold solidifies itself. No spawns in the back just yet. Unfortunately, though, for New Mexico State, player number 6 is going to be back there. Don't think Phenom's going to have the read on this. And this might just be the opening that you need if you are Longhorn Gaming. He has the cavalry with him, too. And the shots down range to open things up. Crit goes down. Jose goes big. He might be 7 and 19, but that's just me. That might just be the turnaround that you needed.
I love this play, though, from players 5 and 7, Colin. They realize, hey, our 2 players spawned up in the back. We spawned up mid. We need to just full hike our way across the map here and get a setup towards the back of P4 if we want any chance of being able to close this game out and not allowing the likes of New Mexico State to string these 2 hills together. But Jose has different plans. 1 HP will find the break in the back, but now both teams are still going to be here. Both teams still going to be fighting for these spawns, and another big win from Velocities could have just solidified them here for Longhorn.
Yeah, Velocity might have just won in the game. Jolteon now has to turn up, see if you can find anything in this position. Stunned up. Mickey's going to clean that kill. Velocity in the inside. 20 seconds left. New Mexico State, they need to go now. And for the break, Electric with the Vastnev. He's going to find at least the kill on the inside, though. 3 drop for the Aggies, and now Longhorn Gaming, they can win this here, Jesse. Only 10 more seconds. Jose's going to have to run for this one. Electric through ruins. He's going to drop. The rest are going to fall. And Longhorn Gaming, they're going to take us to map 5.
We said it. If they got to this game number 4, we were pretty much guaranteed 5 games. The best map mode combination in Modern Warfare 2 here for Longhorn Gaming. It is the Hydro Hardpoint, and they show you exactly why. I mean, that first set of rotations, Colin, was a masterclass of Hardpoint. Once again here from Longhorn Gaming. Not only do they do a great job of, just keeping it scrappy through P2 when they got broken, but the setup from P3 to P4, the pretty much back-to-back full 60 points on those 2 hills combined. Those are 2 hills where you don't always see a 60-point hold on, and you saw back-to-back, and then a massive break on P5 as well from Longhorn Gaming in that first set. Chef's kiss, beautiful job on Hardpoint, but now the hard part, they got to get it done in a search and destroy.
Yeah, I mean, they were looking good back on Mercado, Jesse, but even still, after what we saw, it's going to be difficult. Can we just take a second to, recognize how good Longhorn Gaming have been? in their hard points. I mean, Mercado 100-point club. Hydro very well could have been a 100-point club if not for some late game heroics from Oze. I mean, that one was not close at all. Neither was Mercado. And this team, I mean, they might be number 21 on the top 25, Jesse. But when it comes down to hardpoint, they're looking like they're one of the best.
Yeah, they might be a top 10 hardpoint team right now with how they're playing at the moment. At least if you keep giving them these two maps to be able to play on, it's going to be a tough day in the office. I think even if you let this team maybe play an Embassy as well, I mean, they just look, the rotations just look so dangerous from this team. And yeah, just looking at their overall maps and modes combination, yeah, Embassy is another 1-0 map for them. They just don't really play much Fortress as well. This team looking really, really dangerous. Yeah, I really love to see it here from this Longhorn Gaming roster. And they've still got another matchup to go here today, so we're not going to get to see the end of this hard point here. But Colin, this fifth and final map could be a very, very important map in terms of going in towards that, going in towards the next series as well. Because if they walk away with a loss here, what's that do for your confidence going up against a very big rival school in the next series as well? This map could have a lot more implications on it than just being a fifth and final game here.
Yeah, I mean, just when it comes down to even seeding going into playoffs, I mean, both of these teams should be guaranteed top 8 in their division, and which guarantees them a bye into playoff, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, this match alone could, you know, be the difference in Longhorn Gaming starting, you know, with that number 7 seed out of the West, or, you know, starting with the number 5 or 6. You know, it's just, it's a jump that you're looking for if you're Longhorn Gaming, especially taking down the number 2, bringing them back down to earth. So taking a look at the scoreboard, I mean, I was asking for, you know, either Saucy or Mickey to step up. I know it's not easy in a Hydro hardpoint, Jesse, for an SMG to really pop off, but Mickey playing that flex role drops 31 kills.
Yeah, really big game from Mickey. You also got a really big bounce back from Crit as well. The two games that Crit has really played at their best, that's when we've seen Longhorn walk away with map victories so far here today. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the SMGs, when they've been hot as well on the side of Longhorn, I guess it's just the hard points, really, right? When the hard points is when this team feels at their most comfortable. You can clearly see that in the maps and modes here for themselves. But let's not forget, Colin, they did start up 5-1 against New Mexico State on that Mercado. This could have very easily been a 3-1 victory here for Longhorn Gaming. Now they have to go towards a Hotel S&D, a map where they've had some ups, some downs on throughout the season so far here. I need to try to find a way to walk away with a map victory here. And this is a map where Search and Destroy, it can be very, very difficult to find offensive wins on this map if you're going up against a team that knows how to set up strong defensively. I think that this is really going to be a slug match between these two teams here. I really hope that we get the Longhorn game that we saw in the first half of that Mercado S&D, and not the second half, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, both teams firing on all cylinders going into this Game 5, Jesse. One map to determine if the number 21 team can take down the number 8 team in our top 25 standings. It's going to be exciting one, players, you know, fans. Don't want to miss it. We're going to cut to a quick break, get things set up, and we'll come back with the Hotel Search and Destroy. I wasn't lying when I said we'd be back quickly. We're here with game number 5, New Mexico State, Longhorn Gaming. One map to take it all, and to open up this, it's Mickey with a 2-piece. So we're stuck in a 2 versus 1 now. Jolteon puts Crit against the ropes. Bomb planted for New Mexico State. So Crit's got a lot of work left up to him. Jesse, can he win this one out? Jolteon on that Godheady. Crit's going to walk out into the open in New Mexico State. What a way to open up this map number 5. And I think we're waiting on a second for Jesse to get back here. So Crit, he wasn't able to get that done. Electric 3 kills in the round. We got in there a little bit late, but again, just to double back on this, because we didn't really set up this Hotel hardpoint too much, or this Hotel Search and Destroy too much going into it. It's a 2-0 map for New Mexico State. 1-1 map for the University of Texas. Longhorn Gaming, they're no strangers to this, but even still, losing out on that 5 rounds in a row, back on that Mercado Search and Destroy, it's got to sting a little bit. So Longhorn Gaming, they lose out on the round number 1. Can they bounce back on their attacking side with that little bit of pressure there from Saucy? In fact, it does pull a little bit of pressure from this A site. Crit with the bomb in hand. Maybe just looking for a way on. Velocity is going to give way. The player in bedroom is down. It's all up to Phenom to really slow down the roll.
We'll see if Phenom can push their way up onto, and actually that's a great first blood. You at least open up the site. The only problem though is you have no information on bedroom. You don't know if any of these players have made their way through onto that site right now. So you need to be extra cautious here if you're Phenom.
Electric's on the flank. Nobody knows this, or shouldn't. He's going to see that Semtex. He knows Saucy's in the corner. Big win there from Electric, and he stays alive. Now it's time for the players from Bedroom to activate. Phenom gets caught. Electric, though, another one bites the dust. Electric, 6-0 start to the search and destroy. Absolute monster plays.
Was looking like a really, really good setup, but Jolteon actually makes a head of the play. They push all the way in through parking. They get back around the spawn into bedroom to really be able to clear that stuff, clear that portion of the map out. But I mean, you can't not talk about Electric and the 3-piece over on the other side of the map as well. Not only do they find a first kill with the gun, the second kill with the nade was crazy, but then to find the third as well, crazy stuff there from Electric. And like you said, 6-0, cruise missile off the start of the game, and they are just running that search and destroy dominance we saw in that map number 2 towards the end.
Look, he's feeling it too. Gonna get that tac sprint reset. It doesn't look like he's able to get that tac sprint reset right off the bat, so he's stuck in no man's land for the moment. Mickey's still gonna get caught. Crit down in luggage. Not sure if he actually did catch that rotation there. Jolteon still standing tall all the way back at the spawn, and Saucy gets caught in the rotation. Crit's gonna fall in pieces. Pieces for Longhorn just getting picked apart at this moment, Jesse. They haven't been able to stabilize in the search and destroy, and it's a little bit of deja vu seeing Velocity in a 1v3.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and we'll see if Velocity can do it this time. I don't think they won any of their 1v3s back in Mercado. They did win that 1v2 when the players lined up, but yeah, very tough situation to be in. Down to 49 HP as well. Stuns and nades not going to help the cause here. We'll fly back out, and Jolteon there to clean them up, and another lead goes on the board. New Mexico State 3-0 up on the likes of Longhorn Gaming right now.
Search and destroy just hasn't been it for University of Texas since that 5-1 comeback. It's gonna haunt them, and it's been haunting them. You know, a couple players still slow. Saucy 0-3, Crit 1-3. Saucy went for the flank there too, so maybe just a little bit discombobulated. Longhorn Gaming need to start working together. Need to start finding that first blood, staying alive. Something that New Mexico State does very, very well. Through the middle of the map, you can see New Mexico State looking to set up, but a 4-man hit all the way over to B.
Velocities is trying to find that first blood through middle of the map. We'll at least get information that there's a player there, and it's going to open up an ability now for Mickey to fly forward. But Mickey gets maybe a little bit too aggressive, tries to fly outside door, can't find anything. This bomb should go down, but it's going to be a tough hold here in a 3v3.
Saucy's going to get a couple shots there on Jose. Backs him up. Stun does connect, but shots through the kitchen. Not going to be there right away. Phenom's going to get an angle. Crit's got to go big. Velocity 1 versus 2 this time. 9 HP. He's going to back up. Should have made noise in the window, but I'm not sure if those two players saw it. Phenom's going to get eyes on. Jose goes with the gel. Velocity not ready, and another round to New Mexico State. 4 rounds in a row, Jesse. Dominance in Game 5. Dominance at the end of Game 2. Search and destroy it just looks really good right now for the Aggies.
It just feels like New Mexico State University in Search and Destroy since round 6 of that map number 2. They can do no wrong right now. Anything they do, they've got an answer for the likes of Longhorn Gaming. And Longhorn, they need to just slow their roll right now and just really kind of find a way to just get a first blood, roll off of that first blood, get that bomb down, you know, just play to yourself here. But it just feels like any setup they have right now, New Mexico State has an answer to them at the moment. We'll have to see what they can do back on offense here again. Jolteon's going to try to fly forward here with that bomb, see if we can't push up, get that bomb down. But yeah, this is not a great spot to be in. Mickey and Saucy, though, with a massive start to this round. And this surely should be the first round on the board here for Looks Longhorn. You'd
hope so. 1v4, though, for Phenom. When he saw how good he was back in Mercado, the 8th spree he went on, not able to start it in this one. And a much-needed round, like you said, from Longhorn Gaming. Finally, Saucy gets a little bit active into the mix. Starts off with that opening 2-piece with Mickey watching over him. And, I mean, like you said, this is just, it's something that you need to see Longhorn do. Well, they've gotten done. Now can they replicate that in future rounds?
It's going to be tough, right? Because now you not only need to do that there, but now you need to try to find a way to do that 5 more times here throughout this game. You have very little wiggle room as well, because you've got New Mexico State, who are 2 rounds away from taking the whole series here throughout this. But hey, I mean, New Mexico State made that massive comeback inside of map number 2. Who says that Longhorn can't do it back here? The sun will come out. Saucy's going to stun check that, not hit anything but his own teammate with that one there.
Mickey again.
And Mickey again, like you said, first blood comes through.
Well, Electric's going to get stunned. He can't fly out to see if he could chow this. He's going to get overwhelmed. Mickey is going huge right now. 3 kills in the round. Jose now in a 1 versus 3. Bomb's going to get planted. Crit's going to hop it right away. Through the wall, Jose is not going to be able to connect. And oh, Mickey's all the way up top. Jose not going to be fooled by that. 1 versus 3 to a 1 versus 2. And he's got plenty of time to work his magic inside of this round. Crit's going to be in freezer. Velocity towards Ruggs. Stun's not going to hit anything, so Jose is going to find a little bit of real estate in the inside of this bomb site, but as soon as he hops it, you imagine that Bert's going to check this soon. He swings. He knows Jose's there, and Longhorn Gaming, that's 2 rounds in a row.
That's massive. Massive 2 rounds in a row. I mean, the start of these rounds from Mickey has really been what's been... The round before this one, flying out, finding the second as well, just to be able to really give themselves a man advantage here. And it's working inside of these rounds. They find those first bloods. They're playing off of them a little bit better here. This is the Longhorn Gaming we saw inside of that map number 2 when they were able to find those first bloods, play off of them together, find a second, and keep it going. And it's hard to say what they can do here inside of this game, being down 4-2 here. They were down 4-0, though, so you never know. They might just be able to make this comeback happen. This time, New Mexico State, they want to make their push over towards A again here. And Velocities again through middle of the map.
Ooh.
First blood. Longhorn looking to rally again.
And you just don't want to be on the opposite end of that barrel. First blood to Longhorn Gaming. Jose looking to see if you can pull something back. He's going to jump the bomb. If Kurt has anything to say about it, Phenom's going to get the trade, but it's a little bit too late. That's bomb down for New Mexico State. They got to go into the deep end. They have to see if they can find some of these kills, and I like this call from Longhorn Gaming. They've already exited this. Phenom's going to get some good timing, but will Mickey be able to read this one? No, he will not, but he stays alive, and that's the important part. Mickey's on the run into the corner. Phenom hunts him down 2 versus 2.
2v2, but that bomb's still not down, and they don't have mid control, so you still have Velocities looking over mid. You have Saucy on the flank as well. Jolteon's going to have to go massive while this bomb's going down, but will not spot out Saucy. 1v1, 22 seconds, and the time is definitely in Velocity's favor right now.
Yeah, Velocity, he just needs to watch the cross. He's going to hop on the head glitch. Jolteon gives his positioning away, playing for the kill. Hops the bomb eventually. 12 seconds left. He's got to stick it. Plant's going to go through, but Velocity still watching the cross. He's going to hop into couches. Jolteon sees it. A long way around. I like this. It's a good call from Velocity just to reposition.
Yeah, I mean, you get the power positions, right? Up top bedroom. So Velocities, if they can read where Jolteon's playing now, this could absolutely work out in your favor, but so far not looking the right way. Oh my god, this could be a perfect read if they check the corner. Did not get the gunfight victory, though, and New Mexico State University will take a 5-2 lead.
Oh, the door just barely closed. Oh, he just slides his way in. The slippery little fellow, Jolteon. Electric end to that round. 5-2 in the search to destroy. Oh, you may have just stuck the nail in the coffin for that one, Jesse. Wow. 5-2. New Mexico State Aggies. Yeah, and their search to destroy is so clean right now. Hotel search to destroy in particular is so friendly to the squad. Velocity, he's been good, but in that round, just not good enough to win the 1v1.
Very interested to see what we get from New Mexico State here. Back-to-back rounds where Longhorn on offense choose to go over towards B as opposed to hitting out into A. They've gotten the bomb down. Actually, it's 3 rounds in a row now on offense. They've gotten the bomb down at B. 2 that they've won it, though.
Saucy's going to get information onto the player through Jacuzzi. Going for the entry frag. Electric just tucked away into the corner. Saucy checks it, but he's not going to stick it. Electric's going to have a chance to bring this back, and he's got Phenom watching all the way from the back steps. Phenom's going to get traded out. We're into a 2v2, and take a look at these Longhorn Gaming players. They're already long gone.
This is the right call. They've definitely stacked up inside of Kitchen, and if you're Longhorn Gaming, you've realized this by now. Everybody now going to be on the full push over towards A. You do still need to check a couple angles here, though. Make sure that you've got this bomb site down for free, and Crit will get the bomb down. They're planting so that they can watch this from their side of the map as well, so not going to choose to take full control.
Crit just looking for a little bit more. You know, isolate this one if you want it, and if you could do one better and win this one if you want it to Jolteon, that's going to put such a good spot. Velocity's watching the flank. Electric tried to work that magic that we saw last time around. All these corners are getting checked. Velocity on the inside of this bomb site. Electric's going to overwhelm him. That's going to put Crit into a spot where you need to play this close and silently. Electric still hasn't saw him, but Crit has no idea he's on the bomb. He's going to check it. He's going to get away with murder. He knows where both players are. And Crit, oh my. Oh man, Crit. 1 versus 2. The trigger discipline. It's chef's kiss.
Yeah, a perfect play there from Crit. Plays their life beautifully up in top luggage. And then once they see the player not hopping on the bomb, you've got a pretty good idea that, hey, you know what, the other player very likely is going to hop this bomb soon with the time left. We'll find the first player on the bomb, able to win the second gunfight out as well. Close that out. I mean, Longhorn are staying in this one here, Colin. It was not looking good at the start, down 4-0, but they've definitely brought it back. You would have much rather have won that last round out and be in a 4v4 right now than down 5-3. But you know what? It's definitely still possible. This time, though, New Mexico State going to get very aggressive over towards B. Velocity sees that push, though. Makes the call out. Mickey gets one. Can't get the second, though.
Oh, and Jose with the snap. Velocity is going to get dropped as well. As Longhorn Gaming double down. Now it's going to be up to Crit. Clutch up again. Jose. Bomb gets cleared, so Bertelli is going to put him into a spot of success. And silence still pop. Cruise missile not going to hit its mark. Crit's going to go back to watch over this bomb. The smoke is going to be there, but nobody has crossed just yet. Crit still with the chance. Can they line up like they did Velocity? Don't know. Crit's going to be in the back. Both players unaware at the moment. And Crit just needs to wait. He just needs to wait for a chance. The shot's going to be out. Jolteon's going to challenge this one. Both players weak, but so is Crit. They stay alive. 40 seconds left to stay alive in the series, to push this to around number 10. Crit for the 1v2. Jolteon snaking on the inside. He's still alive. Crit just barely holding on. But as New Mexico State hunts him down, it might go the distance, but they still take the win.
They absolutely do take the victory there. A very, very close game. But in the end of it all, the search and destroy prowess and the good, dominant search and destroy play we've seen from New Mexico State University all year long pulls strong at the very end, and they walk away with a 6-3 victory. And Colin, I gotta say, just one thing from that last round there, I absolutely love the final play. Not only to use the cruise missile there to really try to isolate the player out and find that the information to get that final bomb down and be able to close the round out, but they also throw a nade ahead and use the smoke from the nade to give themselves enough time to cover, to pick that bomb up, get into a position where they can plant it from behind, so that you don't have those easy shots like we saw from Crit be able to hit it from the defensive side of the map earlier in that round. They get the bomb down, they're able to close it out in the 2v1, and yeah, snaking on point there. It's good form.
It's good form. Good form from Jolteon, who honestly had good form throughout the whole series. I'd say if you're giving a series MVP to anyone, I mean, Jolteon was so good from at least the resurgence in that Search and Destroy to the very end inside of Hotel Search and Destroy. Is the standout player for New Mexico State and the head turner for going into playoffs. A player that I think everybody needs to have on their radar when you go up against the Aggies in the future of the CCL. So Longhorn Gaming, I mean, hats off to them too. The number 21 team takes the number 8 team all the way to a map number 5. And you have to think, you know, Velocity, that 1 versus 1 wins it out, and you know, maybe Longhorn Gaming find the comeback, bring us to around 11, Jesse. But that heartbreak loss for Velocity, and I think New Mexico State just constantly were able to put themselves in very strong spots.
Yeah, it was really, really tough, right? Because, like you said, you're in a spot where you win that one round out. You're going to be in a 4v4 as opposed to in a 5v3 in this situation. You can actually give up this round. You don't need to worry about being in a make or break round. It'd be 4-4, now down 5-4. But unfortunately, you lose out on that one round. And the early rounds, just the first 4 going the way of New Mexico State was just a little bit too much for Longhorn Gaming to claw their way back from. But we can take a look here at the final stats, and it was really electric, honestly, in that final map. Started with that 6-0 through the first 3 rounds. Really solid start from Electric. And the rest of the team through the back half of that map really stepped up to the plate when he was only going 3-6 in the later rounds. But really, really good stuff. New Mexico State, they look very solid in the search and destroy and in the control right now. I thought their hardpoint was looking really good too coming into this one with a 9-3 record, but definitely something they're going to need to take a step back and go look into going into playoffs here, because that hardpoint that we saw today is not good enough if you want to win a championship in the College COD.
I will say I do like the name coordination from New Mexico State, Electric and Jolteon. I mean, it just goes together, Jesse, you know. I'm not sure how much of your Pokemon knowledge goes, but I hope you do understand that for sure, Jesse. Through 5 maps, we get to look back. Okay, I'm glad you do. Yeah, I'm surprised I actually had to question that one, but we go all the way through best of 5, and New Mexico State Aggies, they get it done. Their hard points definitely need some work, but you can say the same for Longhorn Gaming when it comes down to the control. They got smoked. The search and destroys just definitely did not look comfortable. The Mercado, they started off great, but just finishing out on the search and destroys, definitely something you need to look back on at how winnable this series was for Longhorn Gaming.
Yeah, I was about to say, can we just take a second to just think about the fact that if Longhorn Gaming wins one more round of that Mercado, went up 5-1, yes, that's right, 5-1 if you're just joining us, they would have closed this series out in 3. It wouldn't have even really been a close series outside of maybe that hotel, which was really a close map. You did 2 offensive rounds from Longhorn Gaming where they got 5 out of 6 ticks, but they still got 3 out inside of that map. So closer than that 3-0 shows. I think that even though Longhorn lose this series, I think this still pushes them up the power rankings, in my opinion.
I would agree. I would agree with that 100%. I'm not on the top 25 committee, Jesse, but if I was, I would be boosting the stocks of Longhorn Gaming. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna sit there and just say, hey, let's get about University of Texas. They looked good against New Mexico State Aggies, and this gets me really excited for the playoffs, Jesse. I mean, last day of regular season, we really get to see, you know, a lot of teams at their best, and I think we just saw really what Longhorn Gaming's potential looks like.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Longhorn Gaming has a decent opportunity to kind of come into the playoffs, make a deep run, especially with that hard point. I mean, we saw. I'm gonna reference back to the Texas major that we just saw. Hard point and search search and control were not strong for Optic in that. They battled back and just kept winning hard point after hard point after hard point, and it really brought them all the way through the championship. I mean, if they can do it, Longhorn, who knows? So they just got to keep winning those hard points.
Hey, I'm a fan. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen, but we got to get set up for our next series. Before that, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, America's Navy. Folks, go show them some love. The Navy offers more than 60 career fields in leading edge areas such as nuclear engineering, special warfare, cryptology, information systems, and healthcare. So if you go check out Navy.com, and the Navy allows you to earn a college education at their expense. Show some love to our sponsor, America's Navy. We couldn't be doing this without them. An amazing match number 1, Jesse. Something I didn't expect to be as close as it was, but I will take it all day long. We got one more. We go back to Longhorn Gaming. They go up against one of their long-term rivals, Texas A&M Maroon. I can't wait to see you, folks. A quick little break. We'll see you on the other side.